Good evening, all. Welcome to a new episode of the Midweek Mixup podcast. This week, we are going to be talking specifically about Halo, our thoughts on the flights over the last 2 weekends, big team battles, our impressions, and things we'd like to see potentially changed before they actually launch the game, and how we think our feelings of the multiplayer, the way the game plays, will affect the campaign and kind of the positives and negatives to take away from the flight this weekend. Before we dive into that, we will get through our introductions. First of all, this week we will start bottom to top. So, Shomberlon, how are you doing today, brother? What you been up to and what you been playing?
I'm beginning to feel like a cracked record. I've just been doing uni work mostly. I've got an assignment due in at the end of the week, so that's been pretty much my concentration this last week or so. I've played a little bit. I played the Halo beta for on the Sunday for one session, and that is pretty much, I think, all I've done really. Hang on, let me look at my achievements because I always forget what I've done. But I've hardly been on gaming that much this week. I've got a semi-holiday next week. Reading week, which means I can kind of blag it. I've been playing Avengers as well. I've been playing Avengers actually.
What's your thoughts on that then?
I like it better than I thought it would, but I'm at the point now where everything's beginning to feel very samey.
Yeah,
with the missions.
Bit more of a grind.
And I think I'm fairly near the ending. I think I've managed to recruit all the main characters. But yeah, it's beginning to feel very, very, very samey.
Did you play it before then, Shom? Or
no?
Did you do the wrong one?
When it first came out, I kind of saw it and I was like, you know what, I'm really not interested in that. But then again, that's the beauty of Gamepass, because I can try something that I can normally say that I'm not interested in and decide actually it's really good, or no, I confirm my disinterest. So it didn't cost me anything. Well, anything extra, should I say? But yeah, it's all right. It's not an awful game. It's just the gaming loop is just very short for what they get you to do. Go here, destroy that. Go there, find these things. Go here, collect these things. And it's just, you've only probably got about 5, maybe 6 missions that you just repeat over and over again with different backstories and scenarios. And I find that really boring. The only thing that's kept me going so far is actually just the main campaign. Just trying to find out what's happened. But once I've completed the main campaign, it'll be deleted because it's like 120 gig. And I'm not having that sat on my hard drive. So I'll it's enough that I'll play it and I'll complete it. But after that, I'll give like the Wakanda DLC a go and stuff like that. But then it's gone.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But everyone made room for Halo this weekend, which was good. Apart from, unfortunately, Vin, because he was stuck at work. But I think you did manage to play the weekend before, though, didn't you? Yeah. So
I played all weekend.
At least, otherwise we should have kicked him out of the show now because, well, you know.
Oh, you're right about that. But I played the first weekend, and I played a lot. I was also streaming it. Really enjoyed it. It was a shame that I couldn't play last weekend with you guys. I watched Drew stream it on YouTube with all of you guys, and I don't know how many famous YouTube people were there, but I really enjoyed what I saw. I couldn't watch all of it because the Germans wanted me to work as well. So, but
that's what we Germans do, right?
I can't concentrate. It's a
Schnell!
Achtung! Vincent, Achtung! Now I hope it's December 8th really fast, and then I can join the big team battle as well, because that's the part I missed.
Yeah,
I did all the
man. Oh wow!
No, we got smashed at that big team battle.
Jesus.
We got absolutely.
I saw a couple of good games as well.
We got for the majority of the time we got smashed, but it was fun.
Tom, that was just on Sunday. On Saturday we were rocking it.
Yeah,
I don't believe you. I do not believe you.
Yeah, it's on stream. It's on stream. Erwin was.
We have live proof. You just have to watch the stream.
Erwin was capturing anus, and General Kant was there.
Did you
Shout out to General Kantis in the chat.
And there goes the monetization.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How have you been anyway, Archie? What you been up to?
Thank you. Been doing good. He's
been
yeah,
making
played
Vin
a
work.
lot of Halo, of course, over the weekend. Otherwise, I'm completely absorbed by Diablo 2, the resurrected edition. Jeez, I shouldn't have started that game. It's going to be an unhealthy amount of time I'm going to sink
Taking up
into
your
it.
life.
Yeah, completely. I'm already in Act 5. I have a level 35 sorceress right now, and it's just like 21 years ago, where I stopped living my life for I don't know how many hundreds of hours. No, but that game is awesome. And well, I've just finished a video that went up today, but only for channel members. It's going public for the rest tomorrow.
Yep.
Been working on that. And besides that, I just got another game. I played about an hour today, but I can't talk about that because, NDA stuff.
Yes.
So
Wow.
yeah, that's basically...
We're your friends.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. But
Not
I
on
don't want to
live
shut my...
streams.
Yeah. No, that's what I've been up to. Yeah, pretty busy, actually.
Awesome stuff. Patcher, how you doing, brother?
Yeah.
What you been up to? I saw obviously yesterday you had an awesome little stream on PUBG. That was quite fun.
Yeah.
What else you been up to? What you been doing?
Oh, like Shomberlon, I started playing The Avengers a few days ago. Streamed it also. I'm gonna
Nice. How do you like it?
I really like it.
You playing the campaign?
Yeah, I'm playing the single player at the moment.
Awesome.
So,
First time?
I actually played the beta, but that you could only play a small part of it. But now, when you can go much further into the story, I like it.
See, I had a real problem with that game, and not with the game itself, but with how people talked about it. Because the single-player campaign was actually great. I really enjoyed that. It had a good story. You had different kind of characters. They mixed up the gameplay elements quite well. When you play Iron Man, it feels completely different for when you play Captain America. I really liked that. It was depending on difficulty, you play on 12 to 15 hours campaign. And I didn't understand why people were not able to appreciate just a good single-player campaign for 15 hours. I didn't get that.
No, yeah, it's true. I saw the reactions of people that, like you said, people were not really positive about it. But for me, I like Marvel, so that's one plus point for me. But normally when I play single player, I normally skip the cutscenes and I play further, But with this, I take the time. I also stream it, so. If you guys want to check it out, my channel. But I do like the Avengers, so it's pretty cool game. It looks good, plays good. I like the combat. So yeah, I got no negative anything about it for now.
Nice,
so
nice.
And
I
of course,
downloaded it.
Halo.
Yeah.
This weekend with you guys. It was pretty crazy, the big team battles. And finally had the time to play with you, Boxenberger.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So it was pretty fun. And I cannot wait when it goes live. So
absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Awesome stuff. Vinny, I know you've been working this weekend, so you probably haven't had a chance to play games this weekend. But what have you had a chance to play when you haven't been at work?
Well, I started like Shomberlon and Pat did Marvel Avengers. I played it as well because it's a Gamepass. It was a game I was waiting for to go on sale, and then when it went on sale, it went to Gamepass. So I got it. Yeah. I started it. I enjoy it, but not entirely. I really dislike that. Is Camilla Khan or something? That character.
Yeah.
I think she's annoying as hell. The way she talks, and and yells constantly. I don't like it. I like the Hulk and Iron Man and stuff. You can see it's made by the same team that made the Tomb Raider, you know, like the environments and stuff. It's beautiful, beautiful. I'm addicted to FIFA again.
Okay, we have to kick him out anyway.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Keep it.
You know, Pro Evolution Soccer went to what is it? eFootball something free to play.
Yeah, let's not talk about Pro Evo.
That was so shit. And then there was this.
It really is.
What's it? A 10-hour trial or something? You have with EA access for FIFA. Yeah. And I was actually sold. The game is actually going back to like FIFA 17 was. So the basics are much better. There's some silly glitches and bugs in it yet, but you know they can fix it. It's just minor issues, but the gameplay is more like 17. So I'm really happy with that.
Yeah,
I played that a lot, and then today I played like I think 10 or 11 games. I think. I started with The Last of Us with streaming this morning. I'm nearing the end now. And then my kids got home from school, and then I was just like, okay, I'm gonna put my Xbox on and do all the Gamepass quests before I have to get back to work. So I did all Gamepass quests for the entire month already.
Nice.
So I finished that. And I'm gonna play Sonic Ultimate Colors and Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz. I've my new Sega games are in, so I'm happy.
Nice. Awesome stuff. Yes, so today's topics. Nice, easy one. We're talking a full episode here on Halo for this last two Tech Flight weekends. Before I start, we had a very brief 5 minutes, myself and Shomberlon there, playing on Battlefield. Initial impressions from me are this game needs a lot of work before it comes out. The lighting itself, like we were up one of these high structures, it's extremely bright to the point where you can barely make out what's going on beneath you. I hope that gets sorted out. In sniping, when you're shooting at long distance, nothing seems to hit even when you're on target. Like you see the bullets go through them and it doesn't do anything. It doesn't feel like any bullets have got impact, so you don't even know whether or not they're hitting anything. Initial impressions aren't great. And I'm sure Shom probably can add to that before we dive into Halo. What's your initial impressions from the brief period you've had?
It is buggy.
Yeah,
and buggy. No, it's just kind of like it is rough. It is rough, and yeah, it's a beta. But like I was saying to Dutch in the game, I've been playing the betas since like Battlefield 3 on console, and the betas were always rough, and the launch were always rougher. So that game, it's going to be a good game. I think it will be a very good game in about 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
Like there was bits. I was Drew started off in a tank. I started off in a gunner seat, and it was so juddery. I was getting motion sickness. The way that the camera was just moving left or right. No, I'm not kidding you. I had to get out the tank. Yeah, no, I had to get out the tank because I was getting motion sickness by the way that the camera was constantly moving left and right. It was horrible. And then Drew left the game to get ready for the show, and I was sniping, and I was in a trench that had been made from a tank's mortar or artillery. So I was lying in that, and I was like, why am I getting hit by the guy that I've just shot at when I'm under the level that he can see? And the game was pushing me out of the trench.
What?
And I was trying to crawl back, and it was pushing me back out again. And yeah, it is very, very rough. Although I did get like a 420 meter headshot, followed by the pierre de resistance of a 20 meter headshot. So I went, I got a 420 meter headshot, and I went, I got a 20 meter headshot. But there are the times, and there's been a couple where it's just like, no, that definitely connected, and there was no hit. Maybe it hit the guy, but there was no hit mark on my side to say that it was doing damage to the person.
Yeah, maybe they've still got bullet lag issues where like, you get hit like about 10 minutes later. Because there's been bugs
possibly
before where you're just running around and all of a sudden you start getting shot, but you're nowhere near anybody. And then like the camera zooms out and some guy's like the other side of the map running away. And you're like, what?
But okay, so I didn't play the beta yet.
Yeah.
As you guys know, I played the alpha. But hearing what you guys have experienced now, I didn't have that in the alpha at all. You had some buggy stuff, like when you shot like a cannon out of a tank, you will see the ground structure, and you will see like all kind of stripes going in the air and stuff. But what you guys are just told, I was like, I'm surprised that for me now it sounds like the beta is more shit than the alpha.
It's EA for it. Well, not EA. It's DICE. I used to love them during the Battlefield, the Bad Company era, but it just seems that I don't know whether it's EA putting pressure on them or what, but it's just things. The netcode is awful. It's absolutely awful, and it has been for years. That was another bug I came across. The tank killed me. That wasn't the bug. The bug was when it showed me the tank was like half in the ground, like with its thingy rotoring around, its turret moving around. And it was just like, it's stuff like that. It's really weird.
Yeah.
So Call of Duty already has hackers. Battlefield is terrible, and Halo is the best. That's the conclusion of this weekend.
No. Halo has laughable bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Halo has funny bugs.
Teabagging bots.
If you believe Kotaku, it's a really bad build. The Halo one.
Yeah. Luckily, we don't believe in Kotaku at this show. On this show,
no.
We won't give them the airtime.
Exactly.
I only see people block them the entire day. Everybody from Xbox Ultimate, Andrew, and all of you guys. I only see block them. I'm like, okay. I never followed them, but
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
I'm just finding it a bit weird that people haven't blocked them already.
Yeah. Hey, but Dutch, like you said, when with Battlefield, when you shoot, you don't see any of the bullets hit the ground or that kind of stuff. You see that, right?
You see the bullets hit the ground. They go straight through the person you're shooting at, like directly behind them. You're like,
okay.
Like they're there. The bullet hits behind them, but it doesn't hit them.
Yeah, that's
like,
so weird.
What is going on?
And EA doesn't let you do recordings as well to kind of show that this is what's happening.
Yeah, you can't record or take screenshots or anything like that.
Aren't you supposed to buy a loot box because it's an EA game? You have to buy a loot box that the enemies get hit points. Hit mark.
You see, anyone that's played Battlefield with me knows that I can, like, especially with a sniper rifle, I'm pretty proficient with it, especially at distance, and like nothing was hitting. And I'm like, well, I know I can shoot a sniper rifle. Like I've done it a lot of times in Battlefield. Like I'm pretty good with a sniper, and it just wasn't hitting at all. I got one killing, and like the other three guys were just literally standing there, not moving, and I was shooting directly at him, and it was just nothing, absolutely nothing.
It's probably lag. They probably weren't even there on their side. They probably weren't even there. It was just the lag of the.
Didn't they just implement marriage from Apex Legends into the game? Maybe.
Probably.
He just places a reflection of himself.
I mean, I haven't played Battlefield yet. Hope I can play over the next days. But to me, it sounds like, well, all the big shooters, maybe outside of Halo, we'll talk about that in a second. But Call of Duty, Battlefield, they both seem to have major issues. I mean, that just tells you that these are the games now that have been developed at home. The games we played last year were not developed at home. They were just in the final stages when the pandemic started. The games we played this fall season are the games that have been in the making at homes for 1.5 years now. And that's just what you will now see, unfortunately. The same is apparently going on with Far Cry 6. Yeah, it also has a lot of issues.
Yeah.
Like Shomp said, probably the game will be good 3 to 6 months after launch. But usually we have seen that this is too late. People don't have the patience to wait so long, and for good reason.
Dies. Yeah, especially when it's an online game only. There is no campaign. There's nothing like that.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It lives or dies in the first month.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, it's like I felt sandpaper smoother than this game.
Yeah.
It's just.
I mean, you'll all get a chance to play it because
benefit from it, right?
I mean, the benefit for Xbox players is the fact that it's coming on to Game Pass in 6 months because it's part of EA Play. But outside of Xbox, it's an issue.
I mean, I do.
Yeah, but even after
think
6 months, if you go in when it comes to Game Pass, most people probably won't enjoy it because the only people playing then when it comes to Game Pass are the die-hard Battlefield player that have been playing for the last 6 months, and then you come in as the newbie and you're getting smashed all the time. That's not fun.
Yeah,
that's
you're under-equipped because you haven't unlocked anything. You know, they've got a sniper rifle that's got like an 8 times, and you've got a red dot.
And that's why nobody goes to multiplayer games after their launch. That's you have like 2-3 weeks, and after that, players become so good that it's not fun to be the new guy on the field, and that's just how it is. And then the other thing is, by then, if you consider like 6 months later, what will we be playing then? I mean, then we have games like Stalker 2 coming out, and other true next gen experiences. We will be playing Forza. Horizon Forbidden West and games like that. Nobody wants to play then Battlefield anymore. That's just not.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. Is I know we joke about and EA will sell you this. It's like they literally do. They sell you shortcut kits. Where you can buy all the unlocks for the, and it's not even it's all the unlocks. It's like the unlocks for the sniper class, the unlocks for assault class, for the engineer class. You have to all buy them separate to unlock all the attachments and stuff rather than playing.
So, really?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Dear me.
So they know that people die off and will come back, and it's just kind of like, well, you know, if you want to keep up, then just send us a bit of money this way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Another reason why I don't buy it.
You'll all get, I mean, obviously the beta's there. It's open beta for everybody who's got Game Pass Ultimate, so all of us will have a chance to play it and experience it for themselves and make their own judgments, but obviously it's best to do that. Anybody who has Ultimate, obviously don't just take our word for it. Go and make your own assumptions and your own decisions on it. But initial impressions, and I'll still be trying it a little bit more after the show, initial impressions are that it is very rough, and I'm currently debating cancelling my pre-order for it based on what I've initially played.
I think to be fair with them is that it will be a lot better build come release, but it's more the netcode. I don't think you'll see all the glitches that we're seeing in the build. It's the netcode that's piss poor.
Yeah,
you'll get rubber banding. You'll get stuff like that.
6 weeks.
With every Battlefield. Yeah,
it's like 6 weeks, and you have to be realistic. What can you do in 6 weeks if the game has fundamental issues? In 6 weeks, you can polish up a few minor issues, the occasional collision error or stuff like that. But if you actually have netcode issues, if you have like gameplay mechanic issues, balancing issues, stuff like that, you won't iron that out within the next 6 weeks. That's just not possible.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And we'll get into more positive news now, chaps.
Please.
Halo! So, this last 2 weeks, we had an awesome time, of course. The second weekend was kind of the pièce de résistance and the ones that we were all waiting for since they announced it, and that was Big Team Battle to see how the game kind of copes with more players, but also larger scale maps, adding vehicles into that, kind of just more terrain, and everything that went along with it. We had an absolutely awesome time. Again, on the second weekend, we had not only just a full 12-man squad, but we had reserves, we had substitutes, we had people that were waiting to come into play with us. So when people, sorry, Vin. When people were dropping out, we had people coming in and jumping in, and it was absolutely awesome to see. And the one takeaway that I had from it, in short, was that the community was absolutely buzzing. Everybody was having a really good time, really enjoying themselves, regardless of whether or not it was win, lose, draw, whether or not we were getting hammered, whether or not we're smashing people. it was just everyone was laughing and having a good time and having fun, and that was what we've missed for a long time in a multiplayer community. I feel like multiplayer specifically kind of took a thing where it's you either like it or you don't, and Halo seems to have got that point this weekend specifically where everyone was just having a good time again. It was just the good old-fashioned multiplayer lobbies where everyone was having fun. It was all coordinated. We were celebrating getting the victories and laughing at the losses, and it was just really, really great stuff. I want to go to Archie first of all. Archie, having played much like me, I don't think you played the first tech test, did you? Or did you?
No, I didn't get an invite.
Yeah, same as me then. So
for some reason,
having got
still
into
a little
this,
pissed about that.
Yeah. Having got into this one,
The most famous guys.
What are your thoughts on the tech flight this week and Big Team Battle? It was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
Well.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. It's really hard to make a shooter like Halo feel that good. The gunplay is on point. The movement is fantastic. Its core gameplay elements, like the impact of the guns and everything, feels just so good. Throwing a grenade is so satisfying. They really nailed that, and that is really a tough thing to do, because when you consider what made Halo back 20 years ago, when Combat Evolved came out, Halo didn't have aiming down sights. It didn't have sprint. It was just shooters on console were different, and Halo was the first shooter on a console that deliver a PC class experience. Let's say it this way, yeah. Shooters on consoles were very rare. Of course, there were games like GoldenEye, which is a masterpiece, no doubt, but it didn't have the same level of impact when you compare it to PC shooters back at the time. And Halo was really the first shooter I can think of on a console that really had the same quality experience. And that is what Halo made so special. And when they tried to modernize Halo these days, and they added aiming down sights in Halo 5, and all the controversy came around it, that it's not Halo anymore, that this is part of the core gameplay. And I mean, that was a discussion we had.
I know.
Like 6 years ago. That's not Halo anymore. And the problem really is now, look at the shooter space. There are tons and tons of great shooters on consoles out there these days. It's really hard to compete now with let's for instance say a Destiny, which has an amazing feeling of gunplay, a Call of Duty, which has a super high fan base. Each and every year millions and millions of people buy that game. We just talked about Battlefield, maybe not the beta, but you know what I mean. It's a quality shooter. There are games like Titanfall, Wolfenstein, Doom, all kinds of different extremely high quality shooters out there, and to compete in that field is really difficult. And they nailed that. They were able to modernize Halo to be able to compete with all these other shooters while still maintaining that classic Halo feeling, that skill-based shooting, that mixture in between melee grenade throws and the actual shooting. That's just Halo. And they added fantastic new mechanics with the grappling hook and stuff like that. I absolutely love it. It 100% was, in my opinion, a success. Couldn't be more excited for the campaign now. That's obviously the thing we are all waiting for. But we will talk about that in a second, I think. Our expectations for the campaign. So I don't want to say that, but I want to mention something else. And I have not seen anyone talk about this. Yeah, a lot of people say graphics are great, gunplay feels awesome, 120 frames are amazing, whatever. Level design, cool and all. I think the greatest thing about Halo, and that is really what reminded me of the Halo 2 and Halo 3 days, is how Halo brings the Xbox community together. Yeah. I can't think or can't remember when was it the last time that I went online, and there were like 50 different parties going on, and
all full.
All full, and it just and people sent me invites. Hey, we want to play a match with us? Yeah. Then I jumped in here in the party with Paul. Shout out to him. He's in the chat. Yeah. Then I jumped over to you guys again. Then I joined Boom for another match. There were so many different parties going on. The community was playing together. They were talking about it on Twitter. Yeah. Do you want to meet up? Yeah. Let's meet at 1 a.m. or whatever. And that is Halo. Halo is that great unifier of the Xbox community. And let me be frank with you. Back in the Halo 2 days, that is what made me or made the Xbox ecosystem my main platform. Yeah. I had always all consoles. I still have all consoles, and I still love all consoles. But obviously, I focus mainly on Xbox. That became my main platform, and that was that Halo 2 moment where where just the community united themselves to play a game, have fun on the battlefield, and I have not experienced it on any other system like on the Xbox system, and this is now bringing that feeling back. And that was, I think, the best thing about the entire thing. Seeing how the community just plays together and enjoys games. I loved it.
Oh, it was. I completely agree. It was absolutely amazing. Like I said, we had a full squad of 12. Obviously, we had ourselves. We had Pong and Steel, and we had Gen C. We had ES Paul, who jumped in.
Acer.
Yeah. And it was just insane.
Raging Erwin.
Yeah, Raging Erwin getting his rage on.
Right, yeah.
Psychonauts, and I mean, literally anybody and everybody, but that wasn't it. Like, even when we had like 11 people, were like, oh well, let's have a look around to see if we can find that 12th person again. And when we'd have a look at every other party, it was like a party of 10 or 9 or 12 or 10 or 9 or 12, and it was the whole friends list was exactly the same. It was just, if you have a look here, like, I'm trying to find people, and I'm like, well, how many people are actually like playing? Like, how Jesus Christ, like, I was going to invite Mav, so I tried to invite Mav, and he was in a party full with like Colt Eastwood and Dealer Gaming. So I was like, right, okay, I'll invite Acer, and Acer was in a party with a whole nother list of people. Invite this person. No, he's in a party full of people. I was like Halo, this is when you can tell Halo's hit the right notes, is when everybody on your friends
is playing.
Is playing and is in big parties with everybody else. And it's like,
especially with Halo 5, where it didn't hit the mark and people weren't that bothered by the multiplayer.
Yeah, you're right.
You weren't seeing this.
It was actually good. I don't get the hate for Halo 5, man. It was a good multiplayer.
The multiplayer was awesome. It was the best multiplayer since Halo 2.
Yeah.
It was just that. I
think people.
Go on.
I was going to say, it's the hardcore people led you to believe it was bad multiplayer game. I mean, it wasn't a bad multiplayer game. It just wasn't a Halo multiplayer game for them.
Yeah.
For casuals like us in the realm of Halo, it was a good, solid shooter. But for them, it wasn't what they wanted.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the thing really was people were hesitant about the modernizations like sprint and aiming down sights. It's just not that classic Halo feeling. And I think the 6 years ever since Halo 5 came out really helped there to change the mindset there in people's mind, because having a shooter out there, a competitive shooter these days without stuff like aiming down sights or especially sprint, come on, let's be real. It's just not something you can do anymore.
I really in terms of sprint. I was going to say, in terms of the sprint thing that you mentioned there as well, I think that they've nailed the speed thing, because people were obviously complaining about the fact that you can't dash anymore, which was obviously prevalent in 5, and people before that were complaining that it was that the Halo before that was too slow because it didn't have the sprint wasn't quick enough compared to 3 and 2. So I think in this one it was a good balance in between. Like, the running feels like it's not too quick, not too slow. It just feels just right. Like, it doesn't feel like when you're sprinting, it doesn't feel like you're not getting anywhere. It feels like you're probably about the right pace. which is really nice. But then you've got again, when you start to get these other power-ups, like the grapple hook, like you mentioned, then it's a whole nother story, because then you can just swing to places and it'll grab things. Or
Spider Chief.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to like the multiplayer, when you've got someone, and somebody I highly respect in the community, Ains from
Season
Gaming.
For the best Halo perspective, look at Ian's.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, because he used to compete, and he was at that level. To see him get so excited about it kind of says to me, yeah, this is a good game.
Oh, 100%.
This is a good Halo game. When you've got someone like him getting so excited, almost kind of like childlike giddy.
Yeah. I mean, before we continue, there is a side note, and shout out to Ian's. He has an awesome Halo roundtable coming up this week, I do believe.
Is it tonight or tomorrow? Like tonight their time?
I think it might be tonight or tomorrow their time. Yeah. But if you have the opportunity, definitely tune in for that, because that's going to be an awesome chat. He's got some really good, knowledgeable Halo fans and players discussing this, and of course what they think is going to go into the campaign as well, which is really awesome. Obviously, they know probably a little bit more specifically, because a lot of them were like pro players or ex-pro players and things like that, about some of the more core mechanics surrounding the games that we might kind of overlook, or just say, yeah, that was great. They might be able to dive into it a little bit more to kind of explain behind the differences that go into it. But yeah, Shom, obviously, aside from that, what are your kind of key thoughts from the weekend?
I just really want to play the single player. But kind of like leading that into the multiplayer is like, when you look at the multiplayer, how good it looks, how good the sound on it, the sound design on it is amazing. It's like, it's only ever going to lead good things for the single player, because multiplayer naturally aren't as visually good because there's so much going on. That as long as the story is really, really good, I think it's going to be a hit in my eyes. I know it probably won't be a Metacritic hit, just because there are certain elements out there that won't have it be a hit.
IGN.
Yeah,
I mean, I was massively surprised at the Forbes article afterwards. Like, I didn't expect that.
Yeah, but I mean, when you do, you will get the Kotakus, the IGNs, the things like that. They will penalize it heavily for not having co-op and for not having the Forge in there. Yeah. And they won't go back and re-review. So I'm expecting like an 83-ish. I think it'll get, which is still a good game, but I think it deserves. If this is if the story knocks it out of the park, like I hope it will, and the multiplayer is it's already knocking out of the park when you see with the community, then it deserves to be high 80s, low 90s. It's like we were saying, I haven't seen the Halo community this hyped for a Halo since 3. Yeah. But I mean, Metacritic is Metacritic. I don't take too much stock in it. I don't care for scores, because some of the best games I love are probably low 80s, sometimes in the 70s. I've had games 100%. Where it's just kind of like
actually, like, people will go completely against me here, but I love the medium, and people just thought it was meh.
Oh yeah,
I loved it.
I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say I loved it, but I would still have given it a low 80s. Again, it's one rule for D, one rule for me. It's just kind of like,
I won't know who it is at the end.
Well, I know. But, hopefully we'll find out. Hopefully that was just like a test as to what will come to it. But
I'm really, really wanting to finish the Cortana arc.
Yes.
Like, before I was watching the Cortana death scene while you were all rabbiting on about
spoiler alert.
No. Halo 4. That's not a spoiler alert. The death scene from Halo 4.
Yep.
And it's just kind of like, it is. I mean, people bag on flipping 343, saying that they don't deserve the franchise. They totally deserve the franchise. The story,
of course,
is really good. Even Halo 5 story is good. It's just told from the wrong perspective.
Yes. Agree.
I don't mind the swapping between the teams, but it should have been the opposite way around. It should have been more blue team 2 on. Yeah. They should have been the majority thing, and then Locke should have been like the 3 levels or whatever it is from there on. Yeah. I kind of see what they want, because Locke was supposed to be going after Chief, and that would be hard to do with only playing like 3 or 4 levels out the whole game.
Yeah.
But the story was good. The story centering around Cortana, her thinking what she's doing is right, but it's wrong. I think it's a solid thing, and I cannot wait to finish that. I do have a feeling, though, the whole Atriarchs thing will be a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And because it's a live service, it will be then a DLC in 6 to 12 months' time. But I hope they don't fall into the same trap they did with 5, where they had this big build-up. The build-up for it was really, really good, and then you actually play the game. It's like the build-up was nothing to do with the game.
I think the problem you have with Halo 5 as well is that they started advertising that kind of campaign teaser months beforehand, and kind of just sent everybody the wrong way anyway.
Yeah, they had that podcast radio thing.
Yeah.
Even had like Mark Hamill in it.
Yeah.
And it kind of linked in. Yeah. The Star Wars guy. How dare you?
Sorry.
How dare you? The Star Wars guy.
The Star Wars guy.
My goodness.
I'm
just seeing the downvotes coming in now.
I see him in Big Bang Theory. Sorry. I'm sorry. I see him in Big Bang Theory. That's it.
He's the Joker in Batman as well.
Oh, really?
Okay. Can we ban him? Can we ban him?
Yes, we have to kick him out now. Come on.
You've
got to know that.
I'm a part-timer anyway. My contract is torn apart by Drew after the show.
we have to at least get some timeouts here, yeah?
Yeah.
Time out.
Put him in the north corner.
I'm not married to you. I'm not married to you, Broody. Fuck off.
No, but I'm really excited for Halo. I am so excited for Halo.
What were your specific thoughts on the big team battle and the multiplayer? Like, even just the mechanics and things, like how it played. That
my walkaway thoughts of it is it confirmed that I absolutely suck at the game.
Don't worry, I'm not too different.
But despite people within the community saying that if you only play a certain amount of games or you have less than a 1 point KD, you can still have a ton of fun with your mates.
Too right.
I mean, I don't care how many times I die in the game. When I start getting frustrated and start doing an Erwin, then I know it's probably time to come off and maybe just take a moment. But I don't care how many times. If I'm having a fun time, then I don't care. I mean, that moment when is it Mav's wife? Is it Caitlin?
Yeah.
When she scored that final flag for us to win that game, that was brilliant, because we were getting absolutely trounced every game. We were losing, and then when that was the one we won, we were like, finally, this was so much fun. And it was like it was a kind of like, no, they've got the flag. We got it back, and then just guiding her in that last couple of 100 meters was hectic, but that's what it's about. It's about having fun with your mates. Like I said, I don't care how many times I die. I don't play it competitively. I just play it with my mates, having a good time, and that's what it's all for. That's the whole point in gaming. Yeah. That's, if you're going to get too upset and you're going to start destroying monitors, your control pads, and things like that, then you probably should take a break, maybe from gaming in general.
I mean, that particular one you're speaking of there, I think that even set the ball rolling for like 2 or 3 wins off the trot, because we'd been
it did.
We'd been losing for a while, and then the last couple of games that we had for that session, we won. It was just.
But in terms of the actual thing, I didn't really come across any glitches. I know there was quite a few times when we tried to join as a party of 12, 1 or 2 people got kicked or lost their places or had to quickly rejoin. So from a netcode and that kind of thing, there was a bit of hiccups, but you expect that. That's what they're looking for, and that's what they're trying to eliminate for the actual game. In terms of gameplay, from my personal thing, I didn't see any bugs. That's not to say they weren't there for other people, but for me personally, I didn't encounter any bugs. I can't remember. I think I had 1 or 2 rubber banding experiences in the first 2 or 3 matches.
Yeah.
But that was like one time per match that lasted maybe 2 or 3 seconds, and that was that. Other than that, it was smooth sailing. I was really impressed, and that's, I think, when maybe we're being hypercritical of Battlefield because of Halo being so flawless in that sense.
I completely agree.
You know,
they
Battlefield
must hate 343 Industries right now because it is really hard to come off such a great beta, such a smooth running game, and then have your game out there that is an actual beta with bugs and everything, which are supposed to be in a beta, yeah, but still.
Yeah, exactly. I think it doesn't help. It's the time frame. I think if it was like 3 weeks ago, people would have probably forgotten and kind of gone, well, Halo was a bit better, but it's literally 3 or 4 days. And people are just still with a fresh memory going, this is not good. But it's like, no, this is a beta. This is what betas are like. Like 9 times out of 10, this is the stuff that you have to put up with. You're not playing a demo. You're not playing a full game. You're playing a beta, and that's the point. But you get that every beta. Oh, it's laggy. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. It's like, yeah, it's a beta. That's the point. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to Halo, primarily again for the single player. But I will be jumping on multiplayer and getting my ass kicked, having fun with my mates.
Awesome stuff. Yeah. We're going to dive into our hopes and dreams for the single player based on that multiplayer outing shortly. But we're going to get Pat and Vin's thoughts on the weekends that they played as well. Pat, you managed to join us for the second day. On Big Team Battle. How did you enjoy Halo this weekend? What were your thoughts, both in terms of gameplay, the guns, the sound, and everything that come along with it?
Well, I enjoyed it. It was not long, but I really enjoyed it. One of the things is we had so many people in the party. It was just chaos. Also on the field, on the battlefield, you know. It was crazy. Everywhere there was something going on. People driving around, flying around, getting hit. Crazy stuff. I really like Halo. And this is actually the first time that I play Halo. So, yeah, I'm sold. I really cannot wait till it comes out, guys. I'm super excited. First time I was playing with Boxenberger. First time I was playing with Pongsol. Ice T Rage, Ickbutts, you know, name them all, and it was crazy. I had so much fun on this game. Yeah, Steel Rage from the Living Split Screen.
Yeah. Do you what do you make, because you're a big first person shooter fan and kind of shooter fan in general, so what did you make of the gunplay in the game? What did you make of all the different weapons and guns and things you could use and how they played?
Yeah, and that's one thing I need to get used to. It's the type of guns and the way to use them, because sometimes I got a little bit frustrated, because for me I was like aiming down sight, hitting the people, and for some reason I have the feeling that they kill me faster than I kill them. So
it's easier not to aim down sights.
Because
that's the whole thing with it.
Yeah,
even with like the
pistol,
pistol and the scopes, it's better not to.
Because
unless you've got a sniper.
When I look at other people playing, most of the people don't aim down sight. So I'm definitely gonna try that out, because like Archie also said, with the other Halo, it wasn't it didn't have aim down sight or something, right?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so it's a new game for me, but I really liked it. It sounded good, it played good. Also,
let's talk about the sound design real quick, because Pat, you are absolutely right. The sound design was superb. The gun sounded extremely well, and the spatial audio was fantastic. You were really able. I was playing with my SteelSeries headset. I was really able to hear exactly where the grenade drops, where people come running or sprinting towards me. It was fantastic.
You know what I really loved about that in terms of the gunfire and things as well, which I kind of missed, and the little bit that I've played in even just previous Battlefields and things like that from a big open map perspective in terms of the battles that you get into. Halo made it feel sound-wise, like there was just battles going on everywhere, and you could hear them kicking off in the distance. Like you knew people were at B, and you could hear the gunfire and explosions and things kicking off over there, and you could hear the gunfires over here, and you could hear them like close up. But it was like surrounding like an actual war zone, and it just made it feel like so much more epic because of what was like just going on. But it was a fact that you could hear kind of just in terms of distance. It felt more like a big, huge war going on, and it just sounded really, really nice.
Yeah, it does. But yeah, like I said, I really like the game, and I cannot wait to play more with you guys. And like Shom said, also looking forward to the campaign, because I also do like single players.
Have you started to play through the originals yet?
No.
You should probably do that.
Yeah.
I'll run through. They don't take too long.
I know,
like
but
the actual campaigns are like 8 hours long or something. Not even that.
All right.
You probably knock them out like 6 to 8 hours.
Not if you're playing on Legendary.
I might give it a try.
I mean, even if he just wants to get an idea of the story before he plays this, just play it.
I highly recommend it. Hey, the Halo lore is great, but it's really complicated, and that's really what I want to see from Halo. How are they managing that? Because they said it's more or less a kind of a reboot, but not in the sense that they start from scratch. They will still build upon the existing lore. But yeah, if you think about it, the first Halo came out 20 years ago. Most of the Halo players now weren't even born yet. So you have to really consider that with such a game that is supposed to last now for the next 10 years. Yeah. So you kind of have to start over again, introduce the lore again, while still maintaining the Halo feeling and satisfying the diehards. That will be really interesting how they manage that in the actual story.
Yeah, completely agree, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how that kind of progresses, and how what they do with this live service, because as long as the main and the original, whatever they release at launch, feels like a complete campaign, I think it'll really hit off. I think they've got the gameplay mechanics down. I'm interested to see how they implement extras going forward as well, like you mentioned, over that 10-year period. Again, trying not to dig into the campaign because that's the next topic. So I'll go straight on to Vin first. Vin, you didn't manage to play a big team battle, but you did manage to get into the arena modes and the new map on the first weekend. So what did you make of what you played then on that first weekend?
I played a lot, like almost the entire time we got. It was a shame, there was because the first time we didn't have like this time locks. I could play the entire weekend, and now we had this like 7 p.m. till 11 p.m. Time how you say it, time blocks? Is that what you call them?
Yeah,
that was a bit of a shame, but I played a lot, with a lot of people, including you and Erwin and Pat, and I think Emil, Princess Salty, Boy Rush. I don't know. There were so many people. General C, of course, and I loved it. The new map was my favorite one so far. Because the first time we had the vehicles now and stuff, and like Archie said, the audio was great. The Warthog, the driving. You can hear everything so detailed, and I seen extreme clips, by people capturing a ghost, going off the map, grappling hook yourself back onto the map. It's crazy. It's the game is really, really good. And the second weekend, I had to work, but I watched your streaming on YouTube on this channel, and you can see, and hear by the people's reaction on it. How much fun it was, even Erwin, who rage quits quite easily on the shooters if it's not going well. He stayed, and and was enjoying it, and it was like this constant messaging on your stream. That person left the chat, and then immediately somebody else entered the chat and joined the game. And oh man, it's it was a shame I couldn't be part of it. The second weekend, I really would have loved to play with all of you and also the people in chat and from the other podcast who were joining. And there's only one thing that I want to be. I hope they add it on a definitive version, and that's like Sea of Thieves, that we can have this option to have crossplay on or off. Because the difference in matches was huge. If you're like Xbox versus Xbox, no problem. It was fair and square. But sometimes if you had a match versus PC players only, come on, it's not.
Yeah. But apparently you can turn it off in the full
sorry, Mick,
version.
I forgot you. Sorry. It was too many. It was too many, Mick. Sorry. But it's. I hope they have the option. But I seen when I started Master Chief Collection, they implemented the option now to have crossplay on or off.
Yeah.
So I hope that's a good sign for Halo Infinite. That
I think they confirmed that it will be able to that you will have the option to turn it off in the full game.
Oh, that's good.
They said it's not possible in the beta, and it will be available in the full game.
Oh, then
how I understood it.
Thank you. I'm really happy with that. Because I really love Halo, but I'm not that good.
I mean, we could tell. I mean, Archie, we come across a few games of Big Team Battle where we knew we were against PC players because the accuracy was just through the roof. We were just like, what?
And you can always tell in the movement, and so if someone is on mouse and keyboard, so yeah.
So we could tell.
It's the same as Sea of Thieves, So I wish that. But if I'm happy you tell me that it's an option. So that. My heart is back again. So.
And the funny thing was, we were playing with Ice Steel Rain. He was in our party, and he was on PC, and all the other guys were on console. And then he said, "Well, let's try something." He switched over to his console, and suddenly we didn't play against that many PC players anymore. It was a really noticeable difference when our group was without a PC player.
That's what we have. I mean, I love Captain Clueless. He's one of my best friends and supporters of the show. But when he plays on PC with Sea of Thieves with us, and we're on Xbox, we get really smashed every game.
Yeah.
And if he joins us on Xbox, he prefers mouse and keyboard. But if he plays on Xbox, we have only Xbox ships against us.
Yeah.
And then we can manage to, you don't always win, but at least you can manage to do something back, And
exactly.
And that's
more fair.
Yeah, a bit more fair. So I'm happy for the PC players that the game comes to PC. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate PC players, but let them fight each other and let us, console players fight each other.
Yeah.
I
mean, I get why people want crossplay. It helps with the lobbies and everything.
Yeah, I think it helps more when crossplay is great for campaign co-op and things like that.
Yes,
I think
exactly.
Multiplayer, it's never ever going to be a good idea.
Yeah. Competitive multiplayer, it is just not a good idea. Yeah.
Nope. I completely agree. Next, jumping in to what we think of how this is going to affect the campaign, what we'd like to see taken into the campaign from this. And first of all, I'm going to go to Shom. Shom, I know you had a few things you wanted to speak about for campaign that you were kind of trying to hold back on before. So based on what you've played and obviously what you're hoping for to get, that you've seen, you've felt, you've heard playing in this big team battle, how do you think that's going to affect the campaign, and what would you like to see in the campaign at launch?
I don't really. I mean, the main thing with the campaign is a solid story.
Yeah.
And there's the Halo campaigns have always had the same gunplay feel as the multiplayer anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, for me, it is just the story. The weapons all feel the same. I've not had a good play with it because I only managed to make the second to last session.
Yeah.
with you guys. So I don't think I used every weapon like to a point where I felt familiar and comfortable with them. But I think that the battle rifle probably needs a bit of a buff.
Yeah, agreed.
I always felt like I was getting, normally like you get a battle rifle in Halo and it's just like, yes, excellent. Whereas this one, it didn't seem to do as much damage. But I mean, that's all the whole thing is weapon balancing. You know, that's what a beta's for, or flight, should I say. So yeah, I mean, for the campaign, I'm not worried about it at all, barring the story, which I'm fairly confident will be good. I think I'm one of the few that has actually enjoyed the stories. So providing it's not an absolute like, really, that's the way you went.
Yeah.
Is having no problems. Like I said before, I've had one element spoilt for me. But that being said, that element was something I was expecting, or not expecting, but that's the way I thought they were going to go. And it was more of a confirmation that was the way they're going to go, rather than me going, oh crap, I didn't expect that, and now that's going to be a major plot thing for me. That I know, well, that's they're going this way, but I know actually they're going to swing this way. Nothing like that. It was just something that I kind of had a feeling was going to happen anyway, so I'm not all that bothered. Like I say, it's hard to say, like mechanic wise, because I'm really impressed with the multiplayer, and I know that the gunplay is going to be exactly the same for the single player.
Yeah.
I am a little bit worried with it being so open world, whether they can pull that off well, because pulling off a good open world is not an easy feat. I mean, just ask Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Splinter Cell.
No, it's not even that. It's just it's hard to do an open world and make it feel fresh, and not that you're doing the same 6 or 7 missions over and over again in different areas. It's hard to do. I mean, you look at a game like Spider-Man on the PlayStation. It's a really fun game, just navigating around the city. It's really well done in the traversal. But for me, what I found a little bit annoying was just the missions were very, very samey. And you look at any open world and you'll come across that. So I suppose it's to be expected a little bit if I'm there saying that, every open world has this problem, and I don't expect them to magically solve it. But if you have a good portion of missions rather than a handful of tried and, go find this, go do that, save this person. If they can be a bit more creative with their mission planning, then I'll be happy. I'm not overly fussed by the co-op, even though I'm really looking forward to playing co-op with everyone. I will be playing it solo anyway first. That's just what I do.
Same.
So the whole, oh no, let's dock it 15 points on Metacritic because it doesn't have it doesn't have co-op, isn't a big deal for me. It'll come, and it's only 3 months. It's not like you're waiting 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
By the time you've played it and you've played some of the multiplayer and you've played some of the other games coming out, and then you'll just go, oh, Halo co-op, yeah, let's get back into that. It'll be something fresh again. So it's not a massive deal. And then with the Forge, I know some people really like Forge, but I think the majority of people, I'm guessing they looked at the numbers that actually used Forge and were happy enough to kind of go, yeah, let's push it back 6 months, because it's a feature people like, but it's not a major feature.
Yeah.
I don't think any creator map is really a huge feature in something. It's nice to have. It's a very, I think it's good to have.
Yeah, especially considering that the game will launch with 23 maps already, which is pretty much these days. I mean, Battlefield, what is it, 8, 9 maps that they are going to launch? 7. See, that's compared to 23, definitely something. And I think, yeah, if you run out of time and if you run into capacity problems during development, I think Forge is a fair cut to make, because especially multiplayer is something that will live in through or from adding content continuously. In the single player or in the campaign, that's a little bit a different thing. And I'm kind of with Shom. My first playthrough would have been anyway solo. The first playthrough. The second one will be co-op. But I get why people miss it, and I think a lot of the concerns are not from actually people missing the co-op, but the gamers wonder what is the state of the campaign if such a core feature or core pillar of Halo, every Halo game had co-op, at launch, and if and a lot of people play only co-op Halo. So if that core pillar is missing and they had to make the sacrifice, what is the state of the game? I think that's the bigger concern than the people actually missing the co-op.
But is it to be only fair, online co-op missing, or is it also the
just online
co-op?
No, it's the online co-op.
I think it's both co-op, because
split screen co-op will be there at launch.
Oh, well,
that is really my thing. Why I was so, and I'm still not really sure what is going on, because I would have understood if they said, Joseph Staten said something like, they haven't figured out the save system for co-op and how the mission design will be able to handle co-op and how you kick off missions, start missions, and that's why they pulled it, because they need a little bit more work on that. And then I was like, okay, but you have figured that out all in split screen and you just can't put it online? That is really a weird thing for me. And
is it technical then? Like, is it hard to get 4K 60 maybe or something then because of the online connectivity? Then is that the problem, or?
No, usually I could see some netcode thing, like how do you make the team available if one guy is across the other side of the map or something, but you have to do similar things in split screen. I to be honest, I didn't understand it really. It was a weird statement, and I get why people are hesitant. And the thing really is, we talked about it. They nailed the core gameplay mechanics. They really did. They will bring that kind of gameplay feeling over to the campaign. I have zero doubt. The two questions that are really now open is, Shom touched on the first one, is really the open world design. I think we should stop saying open world, because they said it's not an open world. Don't think Assassin's Creed or Far Cry or something like that.
Yeah, it's more like
it's open areas. It's more like Borderlands, huge hub worlds.
Exactly. They said so. In my mind, it is more like probably something like Destiny, in the sense like where you have these giant open areas. There's a lot of stuff going on. Maybe there's a fight going on, and either you jump in by just participating, or you drive with your Warthog just by the fight. And then when you start entering a certain cave or a certain building or whatever, that your more or less linear mission starts off. This is what is in my mind. I don't know whether that comes true, but this is how I have it in my mind, how that is. And then we have certain areas. Probably one is in on the actual Halo ring. Probably one is in one of the Forerunner buildings or something. And then we have
you'll leave the Halo ring at some point.
And probably we'll leave it, exactly. So that is what is in my mind, and it. I think it probably will work similar to what we have in Destiny, in that kind of sense, that there's just stuff going on the map. Obviously not with other players. It's all scripted, or maybe it's generic. We don't know, but that is what I have in my mind. But they have yet to show that, and I definitely get the question mark. What is an semi-open world? Let's call it that. Halo with side missions. How do side missions work? Is there any progression rewards you get? I don't know. That is definitely the open question. The second thing is, for me, the story. And here, I think that is where 343 really have to step up the game the most. I mean, I think we all agree the story in 5 wasn't that good. I mean, the campaign in 4 was a lot better than in 5. I wasn't the biggest fan of
the writers. Who are the writers?
I don't know.
Rias? What do you
writers.
mean?
The writers.
The writers.
Writers. Same, I think.
Because I think they should really employ some of the people that do the books.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
The comics.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, writing in books is completely different than in games. Yeah, that is.
No, but you can have like your outline. You know, this is going to happen, and this. This is what I mean, rather than the nitty gritty.
Setting up the lore, setting up the universe, the overarching story, stuff like that. Yeah, there I totally agree, and that is really the difficulty here. And I think, for me, Halo always was that special game where the story, the lore is just something very unique. Yeah. I remember playing the first Halo. Yeah. That is that moment when you first stepped on the Halo room, or the first time the flood appeared. Yeah.
Yes, exactly, Sean.
It's just like,
yeah, exactly. These kind of epic moments, yeah, like in Halo 2, when you first meet the Dr. Halsey, no, not Halsey, Dr. What's her name? I'm blanking on it now.
Is it not Halsey?
Is it
Halsey? Yeah, it's Halsey.
It was Halsey.
The creator, his creator.
Yeah, that moment. Then Halo 3, that ending. It is Halo is so full of great epic moments, a great story where you want to just be invested in that universe. And I think we lost that a little bit, because even though the campaign in 4 was good, in my opinion, I wasn't the biggest fan of the Forerunners, because if you think about it, that guy could have erased the entire universe with a snap of his finger. So it doesn't really make sense to have him as a villain. That's just it was good, not great, and 5, kind of went down the rabbit hole, and now they have to bring out more than just a good campaign. The story has to be great. They have to nail that. They have to bring that Halo feeling back, because it is their biggest franchise. It is their Mario. Yeah, I always say Halo. The Master Chief is Xbox Mario. It is their mascot. It is one of the most well-known gaming characters out there. Yeah, he's iconic is a perfect word. Yeah, and
I mean, do you read a lot?
Pardon me?
Do you read books?
I do read.
You do.
I do read books. Yeah.
I would implore you to read Shadow of Reach before.
I have read that.
Have you read it? It's so good, isn't it?
It's really good. It's been a long time since I read it.
No, not Fall of Reach. Shadow of Reach. It's only came out this year.
Am I mixing? Then I'm mixing them up.
There's Fall of Reach, which is like the old one, which is I've not read, but it's supposed to be an absolute classic. But the latest book is called Shadow of Reach.
Oh, pardon me. Then I
and it's set. I think it's set after. Yeah, it's set after 5.
Okay.
You read all the books then, Shomberlon?
No. I don't read. I audiobook.
Oh, that's a good option for me too.
You audiobooked the entire Halo novel.
No. I don't have enough credits for that. I'd love to.
Okay.
But yeah, I've got Audible, so I got the Shadow of Reach because I was getting a little bit hyped for the new one. For Infinite, so I listened to that, and it's got me even more hyped. It's not so much connected, guys. I don't want to give away spoilers into it. It's kind of like a mission they do before, I'm guessing before we see the events of what happens in Infinite, but it's, if you know what they're doing, it kind of helps. If you understand the mission that they're on and link it to what we've seen of Infinite.
Cool. I mean, has anyone played Halo Wars 2?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I watched the cutscenes because
you watched the cutscenes, so you're all pretty much familiar with the Banished and
I'm not a big fan of that.
Flood is back and
I'm not too fond of RTSs, but I wanted to know the lore and I wanted to know about Atriarchs and stuff like that. So I watched the cutscenes.
Shomberlon, play Blitz mode on Halo Wars 2.
So good.
Blitz mode is really easy to play. It's not like the normal RTS game, like you say. It's just like faster paced and stuff. It's really good.
If you could give me a cheat where I just had infinite resources and I could just go bang 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 and just
that's Blitz mode.
Go through the.
In Blitz mode, you have this like standard stuff, and then you have these cards, which are your units, and then you just play the cards.
We'll see. I've seen the thing.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Try it.
When I go, we'll see. My wife's like, so that's a no then.
Yeah.
Shall we do this? Well, we'll see. So that's a no then.
Maybe.
Maybe we'll see. I'll think about it. It's a no. No, but yeah,
it's not just me.
I'll put it in our.
I will see.
We're getting late tonight. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, she do that back to me. Shall we? Well, maybe we'll think about it. Right? Okay. I'm going to bed. See you later. It's just like, right, I won't wait up. I'll keep the light off. Just don't wake me up when you come back.
God.
But yeah, no, definitely watch, listen to or read Shadow of Reach because it is. I wouldn't say it's like fundamental. You need to get it to understand what's going to happen in thingy, but basically, actually, it doesn't actually spoil. Actually, I think you are looking for the weapon.
Yeah.
I think that's what the mission is. It's
also on Spotify or not, or is it you have to buy it at the bookstore?
No, it's on Audible. So if you subscribe to Audible,
that's cool.
Oh, that's good.
I have that. I hope. I've said it earlier a little bit, or touched on it a little bit. I hope it's not required to have that to understand.
No.
Yeah, to fully understand it, because what Halo really needs, and I said that earlier, is that kind of fresh start with a new story arc and whatever, because the story branched out so much with all the games, all the books, the series, the movie, and everything. There's so much Halo out there, and if you are new to the universe, Pat, I understand you are new to the universe. You have to be 343 has to make sure that these players have a chance to understand what the hell is going on. Because even for Halo players that played all the games like 20 years ago, it is hard to follow that lore if you're not 100% invested in it. And so I hope that they make that transition good, that it is approachable for new players, that it offers enough for hardcore fans. But yeah, I hope that they I don't want to say mainstream the storyline, because that's not what is the word I'm looking for, but I think you get what I mean. Yeah, it has to be understandable for new players. That's what I'm hoping.
No, 100%.
Yeah, no, I mean the book is totally off the side. It's more of a, if you already understand the backstories and everything, you'll appreciate the book. The book in itself you can just read or listen to, and it's a good story. But if you understand the characters and basically their mission is to get something from a lab in Reach, and it wasn't until they then showed the trailer or the thingy with she's just called the weapon, isn't she? In that,
yes,
yeah. Until that's when my brain kind of connected the dots, and I was like, okay, that's what they're doing. But they never explicitly say it. They just say it's something to combat Cortana. So it is one of those things. But I do hope that they do kind of link back to maybe in some of the dialogue to the mission that this book's based on. I think that'd be quite cool for people who are invested. I'm not totally invested. I'd love to be, but I'm not. But yeah, it's like Archie was saying. I hope that they do make it accessible for people who are new to the series, especially when this is really their kind of relaunching of Halo almost.
Really what you want them to have then when they launch the campaign. And I think a lot of games should do this, especially if they're a series, is like a series recap in the menu. I know Master Chief Collection did have like a series recap where you could kind of watch things back.
Even Psychonauts did.
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I think that'd be really good if they just did like a little quick kind of recap on the story so far.
That would be awesome.
Because I mean, if you've never played or done anything Halo-wise, you won't even know about the map on Reach is Sergeant Johnson's Academy. You won't know who Sergeant Johnson is.
Yeah,
and you won't know that the key
you won't know who Cortana is. So,
yeah, I mean, really, yeah.
Boxenberger. What is obviously and just so everybody is aware, Boxenberger has renamed now to Boxenberger. He's no longer Archimedes. That is a complete remap.
I don't know. I've always kind of had the Boxenberger in the name. I'm just making it a little shorter
official
now.
Yeah, no longer
officially shorter.
Broody Burger.
Yes.
I already get a lot of deviations from
Box
Boom calls me Box A Bear, so
but yes, before we get into that, actually, you won't have seen it there, but I have seen it already in chat. A massive thank you to Gamer Graham there for the $5 Canadian. And he says, can't stage you to work day, but got the notification and wanted to pop in and smash that like button and show my support to my wonderful friends. So much appreciated, brother.
Shout
thank
out
you very
to you,
much.
dude.
Shout out to
Graham.
Have a great night. I hope work flies over. And hope you, if you did manage to listen or do manage to listen whilst you're working, then I hope you enjoy. If not, we'll see you shortly. But thanks for stopping in.
Booty Burger.
But yes, Broody Burger. What are you hoping to see then in the campaign? What are you hoping to see in the campaign based on what you've played mechanically from Big Team Battles?
I just want to have that same impactful gunplay, that on-point gunplay to return. I want to see the grappling hook as a standard attachment to my arm. I don't want to have to pick it up. I want to have that always available to me because it is awesome.
Yes.
And can you imagine how you can play Spider Chief now in that open world Halo ring with that grappling hook? Oh, it's gonna be awesome.
Can't wait.
What I want is really that living open worldish areas where just stuff happens. Yeah, that I drive by and see a couple of grunts fighting each other, and then I just can jump in or just drive by. I want stuff like that to happen on that Halo world.
To be random as well, not that you go across the same bit. You know, you kill them and then you come back a day later, and they're the same people are fighting. I want it to be completely randomized.
That is what I want. And then I want some of those epic moments, those jaw-dropping moments where you just enter a certain area and you get that awesome sunset coming over across the hill and lighting the Halo ring and stuff like that. So these goosebump moments, I really want to have them. That's what Halo was, always has been, and that is what I hope that they bring back. And I just want to see it, and I also want to see how it looks in the single player. Because let's be honest, the multiplayer looked fantastic.
Oh, it did. Yeah, it looked really fantastic. Completely agree with you there. It looked absolutely epic. I'm really looking forward to seeing how they implement some of these new mechanics. And again, like you mentioned, I want to see how they implement the grappling hook, whether or not that's a permanent thing or you have to pick it up. In campaign, I really hope that once you've picked that up, that's more permanent to you and you can just use it. I think
they said they hinted about Metrovania type mechanics.
Right. Okay.
Ooh, that sounds
it might be kind of that you can't get to that area until you get the grappling hook, and then you've got the grappling hook. That's my understanding, anyway. Chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I kind of got from it.
Right. Okay.
I didn't pick that up, but I'd be up for that. I'd be definitely up. That would make the open world actually quite interesting. Yeah, if you just can come back and, like you said, and the grunts that you fought the other day are now gone, and something else happens at the same place, and then you just drive by, and suddenly you can grapple onto a certain ledge or something, and then get access to an entire other area of the Halo ring. That would be, I would be up for that. Yeah.
Brilliant stuff. Patcher, you haven't played the campaign yet, so what are you hoping to get out of the campaign after playing just the multiplayer section? I mean, have you experienced any of the story? Have you watched anything on Halo yet, or is this you going in with a fresh head?
No. I played. Which one was that? Halo 5, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I played a Halo before, but not that long. I played a small part of the campaign, and after that, I played a few matches online. Yep. With Justin and Joshua, the two twins from the USA, because they are a huge Halo fan, and they said you need to play with us, but it didn't last for long. So, for what I experienced, but from what I experience right now, I don't know, like. I'm gonna see. I'm downloading Master Chief Collection at this time.
Yes.
So I'm gonna jump on the story and let's see how it goes.
I'm pretty sure I've just deleted that to make room. But if you're gonna play it, I'll do some co-op with you.
All right. Yeah. Sure. No problem.
You can always also join us. You know, me and Erwin are playing with Princess Salty, and you can also.
Yeah, but they're on like Halo 3 already.
Yeah, but you start with Halo 3 on the Master Chief Collection.
You gotta start with one.
Start with one.
Who starts with Halo 3?
No, I know what you mean. But if you want to play it co-op online, you have to start with 3, because 1 and 2 don't support online co-op, only split screen.
No, they don't.
No, not on Master Chief.
You sure?
Really?
Yeah. Master Chief's online co-op, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think you can play the entire Master Chief Collection co-op online.
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
you can.
Was it the meaning that we'd kick this guy or what?
Yes. We have to. Oh, really? We need that timeout card.
No, I think you're right. I think the problem was that if you want to do it with 4 players, you have to do it from 3.
That's definitely yeah.
Sorry.
Actually, I already have it downloaded.
And I think the only game you cannot play online co-op is split screen co-op was Halo 5. That was right. Online co-op was available. Yeah, right.
Split screen,
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was 4 players. That was Halo from Halo 3 and further, but
yeah.
1 and 2 players, was but 2 players. Yeah, sorry.
2 player co-op.
Miss Cozy.
Another timeout.
I was going to say the good thing you've got, Pat, is that the fact that you're going into the Halos when you've got the upgraded graphics on them as well. Of course, you can play the originals in the way they looked, but you've got the option to switch between the two whilst you're playing the game, so you can actually see how they originally looked.
Just press this button.
Press it. What? I've seen that question on Twitter. Hold it up again into the camera, please.
Sorry.
Yeah. How are these 2 buttons called? The one,
the burger and the cheese slices.
The burger and the other.
No,
for me, it's always start and select. Start and select.
Yeah, start and select. Yeah,
you can have whatever design you want on it. It's start and select.
Start and select.
Burger and cheese slices.
Just start and select for me. But.
Start and select, exactly. And with
whenever I'm.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Please go ahead.
I'm gonna say whenever I, someone says, "How do you do that?" You just press start or you just press select.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
same here.
Sometimes I might see people call it an option button. Select is an option button.
What is the actual name then from this one with the two squares?
Start and select.
The official from this. What's this called then officially?
Select.
Officially.
Select.
Wasn't it something like
cares?
I think menu.
Really?
Yeah.
Menu and start.
I have to Google it now.
So yeah,
I don't even know it either.
I'm looking forward to you getting into the campaign and playing through it because I think you'll really enjoy it. I think you'll really enjoy the story, to be honest. Especially when you come across the flood for the first time.
Oh man!
And so you start with the Master Chief Collection, right?
Yep.
Well,
Yes,
the collection's all of them. So
absolutely.
you start with number
And
one.
then you go to Halo 3 and then Halo Reach.
No.
I mean, if you want to do it,
If you want to do it
canonically,
Reach is actually
Reach is
0.
like technically the first one, but it came out after 3.
Right.
Okay, the official labeling is for that burger is menu. The burger is menu, and the 2 squares is called the view button.
The what?
What? Come
View
again?
button.
That had to do something with, when the
I don't know.
Xbox One first launched and it was all kind of TV.
Yeah.
I bet it was something to do with that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Media box.
Yep, the media box one. But yeah, Pat, it's going to be interesting for you to play. But yes, canonically, Reach is first. Actually, is it ODST not first?
No.
No, ODST takes place during 3.
Right.
During 3.
Yeah.
No, Reach would
then
be
1, 2.
Yeah,
ODST.
Reach 1, 2, 3, and I think 3 starts before ODST.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
it's kind of like you'd have to stop midway through,
Yeah,
play
exactly.
ODST, and then carry on if you really want to do it.
No,
properly.
Pat, play them in the order they came out. At least play 1, 2, and 3 because then you have the main lore for Halo down. Reach is fantastic and adds a lot to it, but it isn't really required to understand what comes after 3.
Yeah,
so,
agreed.
yeah, because it's a prequel to the first trilogy. Play 1, 2, 3. If you have time, play Reach. And I don't know whether you should bother with 4 and 5.
No,
So
definitely bother with 4
no,
and
but
5.
definitely 4.
4 probably because the new enemies are introduced there. So yeah.
You finish 5. He has to play 5, man. He has to know the ending. It's a cliffhanger.
I will run through 4 and 5 with
100% they don't continue on that cliffhanger. They won't.
Yeah, come on.
They will.
Continue the
They
story
have to.
10 years.
You can't
So,
not.
You've reached to you've ODST version coming. Come on, there will be something connected to it in Infinite. If it's gonna last 10 years, that cliffhanger is gonna be used. You can't say it's not gonna be used. He has to play 5 as well.
Yeah, go on then. Just play the ball.
Poor Pat.
Yeah, just let me decide what to play, okay?
Oh, don't forget Halo 1.
No. You can't say in this.
want another spot
We are
here
telling
on the
you what you're
podcast,
going to
you got
play.
to play
No.
Halo.
You don't have a choice here.
Oh my god. I'm so confused now. Like 2,
Right,
3,
so
Reach.
Play
there's
1, 2, and as long as you've got 1, 2, and 3 down first of all, like the original trilogy, get them played. The other ones you can decide on whether or not you actually want to or have time to. But as long as you've got the first 3.
Yeah.
I would say at least play 4 as well, because that kind of sets up what is happening with Cortana. 5 is an extension, and kind of really does, I wouldn't say set it up for this new one, because again, we don't know what's going to happen, but it kind of gives you a good reflection on what might happen. But definitely 4, because once you've played 1, 2, and 3, and you see the relationship between Cortana and Chief, 4 is a proper gut wrencher. And then you can skip 5. I personally would play it. I enjoyed 5. I'd run, even if it's on easy and you could do it in about 4 hours, I'd do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you know what the thing is that I actually really loved 4, and what really always stands out to me on Halo 4 was just how graphically impressive that thing was for being on 360.
Oh yeah,
that it looks. I mean, when you see it, and if for instance now, Pat, if you went and played 4, like if you just ignored the fact that game actually came out on 360, you wouldn't think it. You would think that game came out last generation. You would think it came out on Xbox One. It is that.
It's got the same kind of thing as when you look back at like The Last of Us that came out on the PS3, and you go, "Holy crap! How did they manage that?"
Yeah,
on the PS3. I mean, obviously it's a different art style, and you can't compare them, but it is very graphically impressive for the machine it came out on. I was gonna say for 4, the only downside of that was like you said before, it was the I can't even remember the name of is it the architect or no? Who's the bad guy?
I think I know which one you're talking about. I've forgotten the name of it now. It's been a while since I've played it.
Begins with A anyway. I thought he was a poor character. In like as a
architect.
I can't remember. Anyway, as an antagonist, I thought he was pretty weak. But the actual story, especially evolving around Cortana and Chief again, is fantastic.
Oh yeah, completely agree. Vin, you've played them all. So what are you most looking forward to, or at least hoping that they include in the campaign then for Halo Infinite?
Well, I'm actually one of the few people who's happy it's a 10-year game. I think.
Yeah. I am. As well.
I like what
that.
they're doing with Destiny, and if they're gonna do something like that in Halo as well, like Broody just said, if you have this massive world and then just enter some stuff and then go back to linear Halo, that would be awesome. It's also like what the coalition did with Gears of War 4 to 5. They went open world, but not that open that you have nothing to do. I Gears 5. Some people hate it, but I really, really loved it.
So good.
It was so good. Not just
I saw someone on Twitter say the other day it was bland.
Yeah, it wasn't bland.
Gears 5. It's like it was.
I mean,
beautiful.
I will say one thing though: the choice that you have to make near the end on Gears 5 is the easiest choice in the world. But
yeah, well, see, I went with the other way because I wanted to see how a certain character reacted.
Man. It's not the easiest because
no, it's quite easy. It's quite easy.
With the Roxy Babe and stuff, they chose something else than I did.
Yeah.
But I really love Marcus Phoenix, so I probably chose the other side you guys chose. But
but it's just a beautiful game though. Like graphically, like they were making it out like when you look at Gears 1 to 3, that's kind of very grey and very thingy. But when you look at 5,
free wasn't that great. Free was okay.
No, not too bad. But in general, it was like lots of broken buildings that you were fighting between. But when you're like in the red sand area and the ice area, like it's so colourful. The palette on it was amazing.
Yeah. So if they're like implementing that on Halo Infinite as well, and it's like this semi-open world like Gears 5 is, but you have all these differences and you can still focus on the story when entering like a cave or a building or whatever. I'm really looking forward to it, and especially because they said you can use Reach, you can use ODST, Guardians, Halo 5 Guardians, you can all implement it in one game, and if you don't, a couple months later you can co-op it, and I'm really, really looking forward to that because even if at the start we don't get co-op online, I'm gonna play the Infinite main campaign myself. But if that will probably end with a cliffhanger as well, and then every Halo story there is can be put into that world, and then I'm gonna continue that with my friends, online co-op, and I think that's a great idea. It's the same like instead of raids in Destiny, you're just gonna co-op the story, then. I'm really, really looking forward to that, and despite, like you guys were asking, what can they give you, maybe some armor pieces, that you need
cosmetic stuff.
Yeah, cosmetic. No, but if you have like these armor pieces to get into a world, like what Shomberlon says in Gears 5, you have this heat world, you have this ice world, you can all put that together. And then maybe you need some stuff on your armor, and then you can enter that world.
Yeah, I know what you mean. That would be cool. So
yeah,
that's the Metroidvania aspect of it. That would be awesome. And you just put something in my head when you talked about and compared it to Destiny and other things. how cool would it be if like the side quests would be kind of like these strikes in Destiny?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I really hope they put strikes and raids and things in there as well.
Yeah,
nice.
I know they'll never do this, and I asked this. I want this in like loads of games when they've got like co-op and when they've got single player and multiplayer. But I'd love it that if you had the certain armor, that you could take that through to multiplayer, and you can only have that armor in multiplayer by doing it in the single player.
Yes,
Sea of Thieves has.
Well, Sea of Thieves doesn't really have a multiplayer and a single player that's separate. They're well, I suppose it does. Yeah, so yeah, it does have that multiplayer now. But say like you can get a certain like the Milner armor. Say there's an upgrade. There's a new type of Milner armor that you get in campaign, and then you can take that through to once you've collected all the pieces, you can then take that skin through to the multiplayer. But you can't buy it. You can't get it in a season pass. You have to get it via campaign only.
Yeah,
it's just a bit of showing off.
I think I think I completely agree as well, and hopefully you do have the ability to change your cosmetics and things in single player, and obviously as soon as you get over to that co-op campaign, then when you're playing in the co-op campaign, then you've got your own set kind of Spartan, obviously Master Chief, but completely kitted out in this new gear, and you look awesome, and whatever kind of armor set you want to put on, I think that would be absolutely awesome. I'm really hoping they kind of do implement that, and obviously the further that the game goes, and depending on how they handle the end game stuff as well on it, because of course with it being more of a semi-open world, they might go down the end game route where you can jump back into the world after you finish the campaign and mop up kind of side quests or things like that. It's really intriguing. I mean, one thing I wanted to point out as well about the campaign that I'm really intrigued to see is the multiplayer itself was just, in terms of graphically, was really impressive. And that is a multiplayer 12v12 battle royale, like big team battle mess. And it was just stunning. Like the explosions everywhere, the particle effects, the scenery, the skybox. I seen a video afterwards, and I wasn't paying attention because obviously you're too busy playing around and running about. But them big towers, the laser towers that are actually sitting there, every now and again they actually ramp up and fire a big beam up into the sky and through the clouds. And I seen a video on that, and it looked so impressive. Like the sound as well when it fires that beam into the sky was like a big explosion. And you seen the beam go through the clouds, and the way that the clouds kind of separated as this beam went through. And I was like, the attention to detail just for the multiplayer map is just phenomenal. And I can't wait to see how that looks in the single player.
I'm sure Ain said that every time you capped a flag, it sent a pulse, one of those beams up.
Oh, did it?
From that's what he said. I didn't notice it, but I'm pretty sure
that makes sense as to why it would go off like that.
Okay.
That is awesome. And that, I mean, again, the attention to detail. The attention to detail they've put just in the multiplayer alone is just phenomenal. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm really intrigued to see just how good that single player looks, if this is how good the multiplayer looks.
Imagine the fruit baskets in the campaign.
Yeah, them fruit baskets better be on point.
Hey, but didn't I see that? What was his name? Aaron Greenberg. I saw him something. Yeah, he's been playing this campaign of Infinite. So I'm curious.
He put a smile on his face.
That's what he said. For sure. So
I'm just so looking forward to it. And any final? Let's go into what we'd like to see improved or added on. First of all, Archie, from what you've played so far, would you like to launch? Because let's take it from now. It doesn't seem, by the way they're sounding things out, that we're going to get any other play tests prior to launch. So, based on what we've played now, what would you like to see change or implemented for both the campaign and multiplayer for launch?
Oh, they definitely shouldn't touch any of the gameplay formula because they nailed that. What I would love to see added to the multiplayer is that or some deviation of it from that Warzone mode we had in Halo 5, because that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Where you had that big team battle, 12v12 versus AIs. That is epic. That was
firefight.
Yes, firefights. Yes.
Yeah, the PvE.
PvPvE, yeah, exactly. That kind of mode, that is what I would love to see, because can you imagine how crazy that would get? Already we had a big team battle, and now you add some AI-based enemies in there. That's crazy. That is what I would love them to add. As for the campaign, we talked about it.
Yeah.
What our expectations are. I wonder when we will see it. That is really a good question mark. I mean, right now they don't need to show it. The hype is at the maximum right now. They couldn't hype it any further, and obviously they want the hype to be at the maximum when the game actually comes out. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Halo campaign gameplay up until like a week or two before launch, actually. Because let's be honest, next week the hype for Halo is already gone. We all know that the internet is so quick these days. After like 1 or 2 weeks, the hype already goes down. And if you want to have your biggest game launch with the maximum hype, and you are convinced that you have a good campaign, then you wait till like 1 or 2 weeks before the game comes out. Maybe that 3 weeks, let's say, when they have the anniversary coming up on the 15th of November.
I think that's what they're going to do. Yeah, I
3
think
weeks
that's what they're going to start
prior to launch, and then you fire out of all cylinders. You show gameplay for the campaign. 1 week later, you announce Warzone multiplayer mode, and another week later, you have one last beta, or something like that, and that's. You fire out on all cylinders, and then you release that game, and it's going to be epic. Even though it won't be considered for the Game of the Year awards, it will probably be a good contender for a lot of us.
But isn't the Game Awards around that time as well?
It's one day after its launch, but the Game Awards don't consider games
after
that come
mid-November.
out after
mid-November.
Mid-November somewhere. Yeah, I think it's 18th or 20th or something. Except they are Nintendo games. Nintendo were the only ones that had games like Smash Brothers that got accepted as the Game of the Year awards, even though they came out after that deadline.
Really?
Don't ask me why. Nobody understands how the Game Awards work. Nobody knows who nominates and chooses the games. The Game Awards are like the most intransparent award ceremony ever. I can't think of any other award ceremony that is so intransparent. We don't know who gets to pick the games, how the nominees come together, and why the hell Nintendo is the only one who gets considered after the deadline. It's a mess. But yeah, that's why Halo won't be.
The excuse for the Nintendo thing was because there was review codes out in the wild for quite a while. So that the people, the companies and stuff had actually played the game.
Okay, so if Xbox sends a single player campaign code to Jeff early, they get considered.
Greenberg has it. Maybe he has it as well.
Maybe, who knows?
Well, I hope not, because you'll leak it.
Yeah, he'll leak it. No, I don't know. You get my point. It doesn't matter if it's considered the Game Awards, because let's be honest, that game release date is genius. 8th of December. It's the last big game of this year. It will be the game, especially considering that we have a full stretched single player campaign. They said like 20 to 25 hours of gameplay in the campaign, plus that giant free-to-play multiplayer. And you bring that out as the last big game in the year. Everyone is going to play that over Christmas, New Year's, well into January. Everyone is talking about it on social media. Everyone is streaming it on their Twitch channels and so on. It's genius to bring it out at that point, because they will dominate the gaming scene with that game. And one last thing before I hand it off.
Horizon 5.
Yeah, I agree, but Forza, I don't know if Forza will have the same impact as Halo does.
Yeah,
No,
let me be
I mean,
honest.
you 2 massive games coming out at the end of the year, right?
103. Don't forget Age of Empires. People always forget Age of Empires. Yes, I know it's not on console, but that game is massive on PC.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
One of the biggest releases on PC this year. Yeah, and we have
is it coming to console eventually? Come on, it wouldn't. No, why Gears Tactics?
I don't think I think so because they have shown it with other games that people said no way that it is coming to console. They did it with Gears Tactics. They did it with the Flight Simulator, and they will do it eventually with Age of Empires.
Tropico works on Xbox.
Tropico, yeah. So I think they might, but nothing has been announced whatsoever. But yeah, the next weeks will be awesome. I mean, Age of Empires is coming out end of October. Then we have Forza in November, and in December we have Halo. Then, and yeah, it's going to be massive. And I wanted to say one last thing, but I forgot it. Doesn't matter.
So
it's gonna be awesome.
But Forza is. A nominee for Game of the Game of the Year.
It could be considered, but Jeff. First problem with Forza, it's coming from Xbox. The second, it's a racing game.
Yeah.
And when have you ever seen a racing game get considered for Game of the Year?
Yeah, it'll win the sports or simulation one, but it will definitely not.
Not be considered there.
No.
Then I was pretty sure what my Game of the Year was, but now I'm in doubt. Then if Forza is gonna,
you are absolutely entitled to consider Forza your Game of the Year. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying Jeff is not going to consider it.
I know what you mean, but I thought Forza was too late as well. So I was like, okay, for me, Forza it's Psychonauts 2, but it's
Psychonauts 2 is also probably at the moment my Game of the Year, probably close with Death's Door. I really love that game too.
Yeah.
Those are my 2 closest picks at the moment.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if Halo is considered or not. That release date is genius. It's going to dominate the news well after Christmas. Yeah, everyone's going to play Halo over Christmas. Yeah. That's awesome. I can't wait to see the game.
Awesome stuff. Before I get into everybody else's final thoughts and wants, the super chat that come through before, shout out to Cucumber, who super chatted £5 across there and said, "Good evening, gentlemen. I'm late. It doesn't matter what time you get here. Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, you can always go back and catch up on the start on the big Halo discussion today. Thank you very much, and again for supporting us with that awesome super chat and for joining us in the first place." Next up, Shomberlon, what would you, after playing the Halo flighting, what would you like to see changed on the run-up or before launch?
I think I actually kind of covered 95% of it, to be honest with you. And in his very passionate argument, shall we say.
Yeah. Passionate gamer from Germany, right?
Hello, gamers from around the world.
I think a bit more of the weapon balancing, maybe. But yeah, that's for the multiplayer.
I think pretty much everyone's on agree the battle rifle needs a little bit more, a bit of a buff.
Yeah, a little bit more punch.
Yeah. For like single player, it's hard to tell because they are going in such a different direction, so you don't know what they've got planned for that. I would like to see a return of Blue Team in one form or another. I don't like. Well, it's not I don't like it. I just think it's a little bit lazy to have 4 Master Chiefs running around. Skins, especially when you have Blue Team existing within not only Halo 5 but the Halo universe in the lore.
Yeah, I think that could be where the customized Spartans comes in if you're playing online, or at least co-op going forward. It depends on how you in single player, whether or not you're by yourself throughout that, or you have a team, or you pick up a team some part into it, or.
I'd like to see them return. If not, I think it would be cool if you could take your skin from multiplayer and transport that into single player as the backup people, as the player 2, 3, and 4. and that kind of gives it a bit more of a connection between the two. So yeah, I think the biggest thing is nailing the story. Having an engaging story that you kind of don't go, really. I'd like to see regular updates. I don't want it to be once every year, once every 18 months. You know, there's the thing. I'd like there to be more things. Maybe like every 3 months, you get like another chapter. It's in line with the seasons that they're doing for the multiplayer. That you get another 3 or 4 hour campaign chapter.
I'm not sure if they add that much single player content to it. I'm not sure.
Well, they've said that it's a 10-year thing for the single player.
Yeah,
it's not just the multiplayer. It's not just the multiplayer that's the 10-year experience. It's the single player.
Yeah, but I expect that this is going to be like, again, similar probably to Destiny, where they have that one big expansion coming out a year, where you get a certain campaign for like 8 to 10 hours, something like that, and or every other year. I don't know if it's going to be a yearly thing. I don't think it's like the seasons in every 3 months you get to play another story piece. I don't think so.
I think once a year makes a bit more sense for this, and I think even Shom agrees with that. I think once a year, but with a few little things in between, like we said. We kind of hope that they do things like raids or strikes or something else that's going to add to like this hub world that you kind of run around.
Yeah, so I mean, like you could have year 1, you've got the Katana story. And then year 2 is the Atriarchs, beginning of the Atriarchs arc. But in between, you've got kind of like a couple of chapters here and there just building up to that rather than going straight from one to the other. You've got somewhere in the middle, maybe every 3 or 4 months, just like an hour or two small campaign, just bringing this character into focus. Because if you haven't played Halo Wars, you're not really going to know who the guy is. So
I was going to say shout out to everybody in chat. If you haven't played Halo Wars and if you're not into RTSs, get yourself onto YouTube and watch the cutscenes. Just at least do that.
So I mean, just bring something in so that he's not a sudden surprise. You know, have something. I mean, looking at the old footage, I mean that was very much centered around Atriarchs with the one that they showed last year that was god awful in terms of graphically looking. It kind of hinted at that. So just having something that kind of gradually builds in. I mean, can you imagine one where all of a sudden you've got the flood suddenly appearing?
Oh god, yeah, that would be amazing.
And it's just like, because I reckon after Atriarchs you might get the return of the flood, or maybe within the Atriarchs storyline, but just having a couple of things of, all of a sudden, you're doing something. Might not even have to be a chapter. All of a sudden, you're fighting against the flood. Yeah. And you're like, where the hell did these come from? And then in a couple of months' time, that's, the story evolves to bring in like, we're hearing reports of the flood in this sector. And then you're like, where does the flood come from? And then that's answered in the next big story DLC that they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good shout. It's a good show. Put that feedback through to 343.
Yes, that's what I expect from when they say they have a 10-year plan. I want to be, like you said,
you want them to be dynamic.
I want Destiny big packs, but I also want little teasers here and there, and even if it's like I said, half an hour little mini campaign or a side mission, like a strike that you were saying, that kind of involves the next, or hinting at the next step in the story.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Public events and stuff.
I'm not going to ask Pat on this one because Pat, we're going to run through the campaigns with you to get a good idea, and then maybe we can ask you this question once you've got a couple of them underneath your belt. Be up on the run to launch. We'll ask you that question. Sure. But Vin, what did you hope?
Now you have to prepare to hit the mute button. When he starts talking. Strange stuff again.
What do you hope? What do you want?
I think you and Shomberlon, nailed it. The only thing I want is a crack skin. That's the only thing I want, and the rest what you guys said. It's as long as they keep me, how you say that, entertained and interested for all those years.
Yeah.
It's not like, it's not like every 3 or 4 months I need some DLC or stuff, but just make it ready for it, just to do some public events, do some strikes or raids or whatever, but just keep me busy. Let me get us some armor stuff, and then keep me entertained. That's all I want, And from the campaign wise, you two guys said it. I have nothing to add to that. It's what we said about Gears 5 and about what you two said. I hope that's going to be added. So I don't know if you have any extra points, Dutch.
The only thing is, and it was mentioned in chat as well, I think a few people have, there's differing views on the progression system for online. I think they've already mentioned this. It's pretty much going to be similar at launch. I think that's primarily why they're pushing so much on these deals with the likes of Rockstar and different manufacturers of kind of food and drink products to get these 2 times XP boosters out kind of all the time. I think that's just to help people really get into the XP and boost up those levels quickly initially. I would expect a lot of these kind of XP things to kind of come out at launch as well to help people kind of skyrocket up those initial levels. But I think the challenges you saw in multiplayer for the test flight were somewhat indicative of what you can expect, but I think they're going to have a lot more challenges ready for launch, which will make that kind of progression system speed up a little bit more. Because of course you'll have more daily challenges, weekly challenges, monthly challenges. You'll have loads more armor challenges and weapons challenges, skins. You'll have different weapons things. You'll have the amount of games, the different game types, the different game modes. There's so many challenges that's going to be available at launch that I think making the leveling up and progression system a little bit more easier to kind of comprehend when we look at it. Of course, what we've played so far is 4 maps out of 23, and 3 game modes out of God knows how many. Of course, you've still got things like Pro Slayer and Pro Big Team Battle, where once you're dead, you're dead. Or the respawn times are really long. Oddball, of course, yeah. And then, of course, like we say, you've got these Fire Team ones where you're up against each other as well as enemy AIs. So I think all kind of in context, I think the leveling up system is going to be a little bit easier to comprehend, and I think it's going to be a bit more progressive when that full game launches. It's going to be more to help you progress. But yeah, for me, as long as much like everybody said, a little bit more refinement and some of the buffing and dampening some of the weapons. Primarily the battle rifle, definitely. It felt soft. Normally I would use the battle rifle and an AR, but every time the commando was available, I'd rather pick up the commando than the battle rifle all day. The commando was brutal. It was brilliant. But yeah, other than that, I'm really happy with what I've played, and I just hope that they hit it out the park with the campaign. That's it. But massive thank you to everybody for turning up tonight for what was a solid 2-hour show, specifically centered around Halo, which is absolutely awesome. And up to the 30-odd people that joined us in chat this evening and the super chats that come in. If you haven't already, please drop a like and share this out. Much appreciated. YouTube's not always kind when it comes to notifying people when we go live. So if people missed it, of course, it does help kind of share the word and spread it out. So thank you to everybody who joined us tonight. Let's get to our outros, and let's whoever has got the energy to go and play Battlefield this evening to go and play Battlefield and see what that's all about. But first and foremost, we will start top to bottom this time. Vin, if you let people know, brother, what you're going to be up to, and are you going to be gaming this week?
Yeah, I'm off tomorrow still, and then back to work Friday, so I'm gonna game tomorrow. I'm gonna continue The Last of Us remastered. I think I'm nearing the end.
Yep.
As was being said in chat. And I'm gonna do a special shout out because I'm not gonna promote myself today, but our good friend and Matt from the show, UK Desirous is gonna do a charity stream.
Oh, nice.
As a lot of you know, Desi had a stroke a while back.
Yeah.
And he's gonna do a charity stream for the Stroke, Foundation. I think you call it in the UK.
Yes. Yeah.
He's gonna do that soon. So please go follow UK Desirous on Twitter and on Twitch, and help him to get the target for the Stroke Foundation.
Oh,
That's
100%. Yeah, most definitely. Go and follow him and help him on his stream. He's obviously still battling the effects of an overcoming stroke.
The one-handed
he's
stick.
Obviously he's one-handed stick for a reason. He's still not got very good mobility in that left hand. So make sure you go and follow him. He's still really awesome at his racing games and things like that. I think some of the accessibility stuff really helps him out as well, being able to play games. So go and give him a shout. Go and follow him on Twitter, UK Desirous. And no doubt he'll put the links and things up on there when he does go live and when he has that charity stream. Go and support him. Next up, Patcher. Brother, you've just downloaded the Master Chief Collection, so I know what you're going to be doing. But no, jokes aside, what else are you going to be up to, brother?
Well, yeah, definitely I'm going to play the Master Chief Collection. Not tonight. After this, I'm going to bed early morning tomorrow. So,
yeah.
But I don't know yet. Like I said, I've been playing Marvel Avengers, so I'm gonna play that, stream that as well. Probably gonna do another stream with PUBG, because yesterday I had like some kind of challenge stream, so people in the chat could give me a challenge, and trying to get it. Was pretty fun yesterday, getting a challenge from Dutch pistol only, and I made it third place. Yeah, third place. So that was pretty hectic at the end. So yeah, I like that. But yeah, gonna get into some Halo, guys. Looking forward to it. So
most definitely. We'll jump on and go co-op with you as well. Let people know, of course, where they can find you as well, brother, both on Twitch and on Twitter.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter. That's the main platform for my social media, where I post all my links, share stuff from the community. So yeah, definitely hit that follow button, guys. And of course on Twitch, it's the same name as it says right here. And don't forget to hit that follow or maybe subscribe. So let's go for it and have an awesome weekend gaming.
Awesome stuff. Boxenberger. If you let people know where they can find you, brother, and what you've got coming up. Is Boxenberger
thank you. I had myself muted, unfortunately, on the mic. Sorry. The Boxenberger. People can find me basically everywhere under Boxenberger. Yeah, not Boxenberger or anything. And actually, that's because I've been asked a few times now why I switched from Archimedes to Boxenberger. Boxenberger was basically everywhere my handle, and I had a lot of people approaching me. Hey, it's hard to find your name. Archimedes is not. People cannot find me under Archimedes. They have to look for Boxenberger. And Archimedes Boxenberger is just too long, too complicated. No one knows how to spell it. And so I just made it simpler. Yeah. That's why I just went now with Boxenberger only to make it more accessible. Let's say.
Should it be X Boxenberger then?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. Boxenberger is actually my nickname in real life. Yeah, people call me Boxy in real life, and one drunken evening, like 20 years ago, a couple of friends made out of Boxy Boxenberger, and ever since they call me that. So yeah.
How drunk were you?
Oh, we were pretty drunk. Yeah, what do I have coming up? I had already uploaded another video today. It will go public tomorrow. It's available for channel members today. And yeah, otherwise I will jump into Far Cry 6 tomorrow. Can't wait. I've been playing a game under NDA. Not really sure if I will make a full video review. I have to decide because it's a pretty long game,
Right.
and depends on how I will enjoy it. So there's stuff coming. Exciting times. I mean, we are in the middle of the main gaming season. There's always something to play, always something to talk about, and yeah, I'm excited for the next weeks and months.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. And last but not least, Shomberlon, if you let people know where they can find you, brother, and what you're going to be up to when you've got a moment. Oh, and he's disappeared.
Hey, that's the first trial for kicking people out of the show. Good job.
I thought I needed a timeout, not Shomberlon.
I hope he's going to come back before we actually go out of here. But other than that, well, there we go. Hey, welcome. If you let people know where they can find you, brother, and what you've got coming up.
I have an assessment coming up. That's what I've got coming up. But after my assessment on Friday, I will probably be. I don't know actually, depending on what Pat's doing. Maybe I'll do a bit of Halo with Pat.
Do that.
I've got to finish Marvel just so I can just get that off my hard drive. 125 gig is
a lot.
Insane.
Yeah.
So I might try and get through some of that. And when's Back for Blood out? Is that next week or the week after?
12th.
12th. What are we on now then? Well, that's next week, isn't it? That's Tuesday.
Yeah, next week. Yep.
So I'll be in a bit of Back for Blood, I think. So I think that's what I'll be trying to do.
Yes, I'll be up for that. I'll be streaming some of that as well. We'll get a full party of 4 people playing some madness on that. 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
I'm joining as well then.
Yep. Sweet. Awesome stuff. Thank you to everybody again that joined us this evening. It's been absolutely awesome. You can find me, of course, on Twitter at WandrinDutch and on YouTube at WandrinDutch. Or we will have some awesome podcasts and more streams coming up over the next few months. When it comes closer to Christmas, I am actually going to do a charity stream for Macmillan, which is a cancer organisation over here in the UK. A lot of them are down to Macmillan nurses and support for cancer patients, primarily going through cancer as opposed to just helping with the research of cancer. And those have kind of also, should I say, been directly involved in my family members and through my life as well as people I know. So that's the charity stream that we're going to be doing kind of at the tail end of this year. It will be a 24-hour stream as well, so it's going to be a long one, but that will be getting set up, and I'll be announcing the official date close to the time, but we'll be doing some community stuff. We'll be setting some targets and some fun things throughout it as well. So when we get close to that, obviously I'll put the dates and the information out, but that is the official announcement for that. In the background... Go on.
Is it one game, or are you going to do multiple games?
Oh, multiple games, yeah. Over 24 hours, okay. I'll be playing a lot of things and just having some fun with the community.
Okay.
But yes, other than that, we have, although we didn't get any review codes or anything like that, Marion the Mad is going to be doing our first, should we say, AAA review for a game that is out now, and that is Far Cry 6. So I'll be doing the narration for that particular review, obviously to help with the language and things, and potential nerves for Marion. But it'll be absolutely awesome. Looking forward to seeing his impressions and his thoughts on that. He is writing things down as we speak. He's already began work on it. So yes, that will be coming over the course of the next couple of weeks. We'll be putting our full impressions up in video form on the channel. Other than that, it has been absolutely awesome. Again, thank you everybody for your support this evening. Please make sure to leave a like on your way out if you already haven't, and share out the podcast because it really does help. Other than that, have an awesome day and weekend streaming and playing games. Of course, enjoy yourselves. Have a great one, and we will see you all next week. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Love you all.
See you guys.